Hey guys, it's Dan. So first, excuse me for being wrapped in the blanket. I live on the East Coast in Philadelphia, and it is freezing here, despite the fact that I have a long sleeve shirt on, a sweatshirt, and the heat on. I'm still freezing. So, what I want to talk to you guys about today is perceived discrimination versus external discrimination and its effect on mental well-being. Over the last few months, I've experienced quite a few experiences that negatively impacted my psyche, dealing with discrimination. So I guess I'll tell you a little background on that and go from there. So, as recently as 2 days ago, I saw someone post a status on Facebook bashing M2S, and it said, you're just a chick with a dick. And me being the person that I am, I commented on it, and I said that it was really messed up, and it was posted by someone that is a part of the LGBT community. So, I was really angry at this person. I didn't express it. I didn't get verbal with them because I felt like that's not going to get me anywhere. But then this person decide to write a status about me and decide to be like, you're a dude without a dick, you should be ashamed of yourself, like you're a disgrace to humanity, things along that line. Also, about a few weeks ago, I experienced someone who was very close to me telling me that I'm a piece of shit. I'm never going to be a man. If I don't have bottom surgery, then I'm still considered a girl. And, these things are all really hurtful. And I'm sure a lot of people who are trans or even just part of the LGBTQ community have dealt with things like this. And firstly, I want to start by saying that transgender people have the highest suicide rates in the country. So obviously these experiences were external discrimination. They were people telling me bad things about myself and bashing me and trying to make me feel horrible. So perceived discrimination is pretty much how you deal with these things, how you think about yourself after experiencing the external discrimination. And I just want to say, I think perceived discrimination is a lot worse on the mental well-being than external, but they definitely correlate with each other. I think a lot of the perceived discrimination is based off of external experiences. So, with that in mind, I just want to let everyone out there know that if they've been through discrimination or name called or anything like that, that you can get through it, and suicide or self-harm isn't the answer, and getting physical with the person or verbal with the person isn't the answer. So please, try to refrain from that if you can, because a lot of times it just makes the situation worse. So after I experienced the external part, a lot of things started running from my mind. I'm thinking to myself, am I, horrible for society? Is that really true that I'm always going to be a female until I get bottom surgery? Do a lot of people think about these things about me and just don't say it? Are these people going to physically harm me? And, I started to get in this negative cycle of thoughts, and I think to myself, maybe I would just be better dead. I'm never going to fit in, and this is a hard life. It really is. I always say I would never choose this life or put it upon someone else because it is rough. Everyday activities, even, going to the bathroom in public. If you're in school and you don't have your name changed, like I am, I'm a junior at Penn State University, and I don't have my name changed. So, unfortunately, every semester I have to go through and email every single one of my new teachers and explain the situation and tell them that I go by Dan, and just that in itself is mentally exhausting. And then more everyday activities. Like, I had to call up my cell phone company today because unfortunately I dropped and broke my phone. So, I had to tell them who I was, my date of birth, and a lot of times they'll get, well, are you really the person that the account is under? Then I have to explain the situation then. Also, I smoke cigarettes. I really shouldn't. They say when you're on hormones, you really shouldn't smoke cigarettes. But I do, so, something as simple that almost every day I have to go into a store and give them my ID. And, they look at it and scrutinize it, and I've been questioned before. I've had people say, well, this is a female name, so this isn't your ID. And I'm like, well, the pictures of me clearly, I have a beard in the picture, and it actually says male on the ID, which I was able to get done through my psychiatrist. He wrote a letter for me, and officially in the DMV for my license, I am considered male, and I always will be. Unfortunately, nothing else is considered male. My insurance, my social security, etc. is still under female. And even I had to go in the hospital recently, and I have to tell them the situation, and they have to make accommodations, and it's just rough. You start to think these negative thoughts, and you wonder what other people think about you, and you might say some negative things to yourself, like sometimes I do. I'll be like, I'm a piece of shit, maybe I shouldn't have transitioned. But then I think about it, and I'd rather live this really rough life that I'm happy in than a life where I hated myself in, because I probably would have ended up dead. And I've also received death threats recently, which is weird. I've been on hormones for 3.5 years now, and suddenly it's like people want to start bashing me, which I find ridiculous, because I don't, tell people all their flaws, or I don't contact people and just harass them. So as I was saying, like, my mental well-being has been affected extremely. I haven't really told many people this, but it actually got to the point where I checked myself into an inpatient psychiatric hospital because I did start to harm myself, and I even had suicidal ideology because of these things. And I know a lot of people have experienced it, and I wish that the world could be a better place, and I wish I could tell you that it's never going to happen, and I wish I could tell you that, hormones is going to fix it all, or top surgery is going to fix it all, but it's not. And the one thing you have to realize as a trans person is that it's not like you just woke up the day that you started transitioning physically. You do live a life before, and in my case, I didn't start hormones until I was 17. Although I did come out as transgender when I was 14, I did live 14 years of my life female identified. And, people are going to remember that. And it is shitty. You're going to have people from your past, disown you and think negatively about you, and, say mean things. I can't even tell you how many times since I was 14 that people have said mean things to me and put me down. But that internal perceived discrimination is so much worse. You get inside your head and you think about the things that people have said to you, and you wonder if they really are true. And unfortunately, I've experienced this even within the LGBTQ community, which really, really makes me even more upset and more angry, and it gives me anxiety because I think, wow, my own people can't even accept me. And, we want to get all these rights and we want to do things, yet there's discrimination inside the community. And, I am mentally ill, and that takes a lot to admit it. I do have borderline personality disorder, and I am heavily medicated. I joke constantly that I'm a walking pharmacy, because if I don't joke about it, I'll probably just be sad about it, which is something I don't want to do. It's just rough, like I said, to deal with people, even people you love say things to you, And in my experience, a lot of times it's the people that are close to you or people that you've been friends with before, because they know that's the one thing that if they say, it's going to hurt you the most. They can say anything else and you might be hurt, but when they bring up the gender, it's like, wow, you think, is that what you really think of me? I mean, I've spent sleepless nights or had horrible cycles of negative thoughts, and it sucks. It really does. That's all I can really say is it sucks, but I just want to give you guys some hope that even people like myself who you would never know in society that I've been through a transition. If you look at me, you would not question my gender at all. You would think male automatically when you see me. So, I just want to let everyone know out there that discrimination does suck, and it's hard to internalize, and you probably will think negatively about yourself, but you just have to remember that this is a rough lifestyle, but you probably would be a lot more depressed if you didn't do what you're doing. And I think everyone that's come out of the closet or been through a transition deserves, you know, the world, because it takes a lot of courage to do what we do. Cowards won't be able to do this, and I think a lot of people, only certain people, can handle this lifestyle. So I just want everyone to know that no matter what you're going through, no matter what people say to you, that you just have to remember that you are who you are, and regardless of what anyone else thinks or says, most of those things aren't true. And you just have to, I mean, I look at myself in the mirror every day and say, you know what, I love myself, because I do love myself. If I didn't love myself, I probably wouldn't be here right now. So I just want to give everyone out there some hope, and if you're ever going through something like this, feel free to contact me through YouTube or email, or I have a Tumblr page or Facebook, and if you don't know, you know, what any of those URLs are, you can always comment on a video, and I will try to respond to you as quickly as possible. Alright guys, so I hope everyone has a good day, and I hope maybe you guys can have some hope, strength, and inspiration from this video.